as an atheist, I think all these religious schools should be struck down. Period.
You just struck down a religion. That's crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Go ahead.
But as far as like, to me, I don't understand why a person would go there. Why you would accept that as the terms of going there. That's so insane to me. I can't wrap my head around.
I guess if you're 18, you're thinking like, how is somebody gonna know if I'm just having sex back at home? You know.
But why would you go to a place?
Yeah.
That's even a consideration.
Well, I heard the girls are really ugly there anyway, so that shouldn't be an issue.
There has to be some lookers there. If you're an athlete, you're going to get the top percent of whatever's there.
There's prison sex. I mean, sex is going to happen. Sex is going to happen, even if they're ugly.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, sex happens in prison.
Yeah.
So, we got to keep that in
that's true.
focus.
That's true.
We're talking about Brigham Young,
yes.
the quarterback here. We're talking about the quarterback who was accused of sexual assault. Okay, the sexual assault case was dropped, and the school dropped him because you can't have sex on campus at BYU. And there's also a black young kid going up to play basketball at BYU next year. He's got the biggest NIL deal so far. Play basketball. Yeah,
what is it, Debansa?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Which is an insane move to me.
Yeah,
like, I don't care how big the bag is. I need the bag and some coochie.
Yeah,
like that makes no sense.
Well,
I know he's into white girls too.
Outside of you don't have to have sex with them in Utah.
No, you can't have sex while you're a student. At BYU.
No matter where. If it comes to light,
you're done.
You're done.
Even as a student, not just an athlete. It's just that's a BYU.
What a miserable place.
Should they come to terms as 2025, or should they stick to their principle and their religious beliefs and all that?
Well, I went to Catholic school, and I say if you are in that environment, you should follow the rules.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because that's one of the rules for you attending in exchange for them paying your tuition or paying for your scholarship and giving you that opportunity. That's something that you agree to, so you shouldn't go back on it.
So you're just in general a rule follower.
Certain rules.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Well, when it comes to that, because I feel like if I'm going to Notre Dame, and that's when I want to go to Notre Dame. I know it's a Jesuit school. I know those are the rules. Unless you're a priest, you can't have sex with other boys. But other than that, I just, those are what the rules are. I'm going to follow the rules. I think you have to.
I mean, as an atheist, I think all these religious schools should be struck down. Period.
You just struck down a religion. That's crazy.
Yeah, for real.
Go ahead.
But as far as like, to me, I don't understand why a person would go there. Why you would accept that as the terms of going there. That's so insane to me. I can't wrap my head around.
I guess if you're 18, you're thinking like, how is somebody going to know if I'm just having sex back at home?
But why would you go to a place?
Yeah.
That's even a consideration.
Well, I heard the girls are really ugly there anyway, so that shouldn't be an issue.
There has to be some lookers there. If you're an athlete, you're going to get the top percent of whatever's there.
There's prison sex. I mean, sex is going to happen. Sex is going to happen, even if they're ugly.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, sex happens in prison.
Yeah.
So, we got to keep that in the focus.
That's true.
So, I just don't understand why you would go there. Like, why would I give my life this extra restriction or this extra thing that I'm going to have to expend energy and effort to circumvent?
You know why?
Why? That is such bullshit. Like, that's not the only people offering money.
Right.
They offer the most money, apparently.
It doesn't matter, man.
Yeah, I'm not putting myself in that situation because you're setting yourself up for failure.
Well, this guy's Jewish, so I mean, I guess, is that racist to assume he has money? I don't know, but
that's not even
guilty.
But that's not even a thing either, though. If you're going to the highest bidder, that's your top priority. It's not about you're only about that money. But if you have talent, you're going to get money.
Yeah,
somebody's going to pay for your services if you're the guy.
Yeah.
But why put yourself in a school where this is something you have to deal with? This is ridiculous.
But with respect to that guy, I mean, he also has the cloud of the SA over him, right? Even though it was the sexual assault, the football player. So that's that probably is a big part of why they kind of want him to leave anyway.
Well,
Even though it was
It could be.
unfounded,
It could be.
you know.
They could be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
with
yeah,
him
it could be.
in that
But
way.
over the course of time, I mean, it's been other people who have.
There was a
got caught under that
basketball
rule.
player a couple years back.
Yeah.
That he was like their best player, and he got booted during the season.
Yeah.
For having sex, no sexual assault allegations,
right,
right,
right.
just regular
Yeah.
old sex. And I just it's
How
literally.
did they find out though? Do
That's
you
what I'm
think
saying.
that
Well,
somebody
this one.
Well, this one is
she
easy.
steps
Well,
forward
yeah,
with
that
sexual
one,
assault.
yeah, but
But
how did
how
they
do
find
you
the other one?
hide it? Like, how do you really hide it?
I'm with her. I don't know how you find out. I mean, you can't just look at a person and
I'm
tell
not-
they're having
I'm
sex.
not-
What, they're going to be
I'm
glowing?
not saying
Right.
nothing.
If they did it right,
She's not going to say anything because she
She
probably
might.
signed the salt.
She
She signed
might.
the
If she's
same
a
code
student.
too.
but you never know if he smashes her and then he's smashing somebody else, or
Yeah,
she
yeah.
gets
Oh,
mad.
the old-
Come on.
what was his name? It was the boxer. What was the chick that he didn't walk downstairs and next thing you know she
Not
Tyson.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were talking about
Yeah,
Tyson. Yeah.
Mike
Oh, okay.
Tyson.
'Cause
when
that
he
was a
didn't,
famous
he didn't
case,
walk
yeah.
her
No, but that's
exactly what
downstairs
happened,
and-
Like,
what?
Whenever you're around
A
women,
woman scorned.
whenever you're around women, you have to factor in the fallout of disappointment. Just you have to do. It's a cost of doing business.
Guys do that too.
What do you mean, guys do what?
Guys, they get disappointed and they, they're like, oh, she just took advantage of me.
But they don't say it in sexual terms, though.
What do you mean?
They're not going to out you for having sex. They may out you for being a money grubbing whore.
Or a slut, but they
No,
Oh, they're
The
not
money-
going to say that.
no, they're not.
Oh,
It's just the
okay.
money, or the taking advantage of. But the taking advantage of is the money. If you're getting the sex, you're not getting taken advantage of. You're having a good round.
Yeah, but I'm saying guys can also snitch and say, "Hey, I smashed her," and then next thing you know, the administration is
They
like,
can.
Was that
Pinkerton is
snitching or is
unlikely.
that bragging?
So guys are, oh, what?
Is that
Oh,
snitching or
that's-
bragging?
Oh,
Is that snitching or
wow.
bragging?
Okay, I see. You're right. I
Is
mean,
that snitching or
clearly in
bragging?
that environment, I would not subject my kid to go there. I
And
would
you have a
absolutely not.
college age kid. Yeah,
Yeah.
if BYU.
Unless that's how he was raised.
But wait, it wasn't. But like, if you had BYU like hitting your son up, to transfer, would you be saying, "Hey, let's think about this. This is not probably the
Well,
place you want to go"?
I know. I would be just so disappointed. I would be like, just don't do it. I would tell my son.
But that's what
"Don't
I'm
do it."
saying. Like,
Yeah.
if you,
I would tell him don't do it because I know that he's not going to be able to go there and just
be himself.
read the Bible and
Yeah. No, for sure.
masturbate. You can masturbate, right? Maybe you can.
I'm not sure on
Is
the
that
real.
something that-
We may need to
Yeah,
contact.
the la-
the-
I mean,
may need
because
to
maybe
contact
that's
the
a rule too that they can. So it's like a lot
Maybe
of
so.
pressure and
Lot of
If they,
baby
if
oil.
they if they can, a lot of those girls are going to be using a lot of feet over
Yeah.
there. Right?
I was gonna say, I think we have to consult the registrar to see what the policy is.
what is the policy regarding
But that was this thing.
images?
I remember, like we were like really young, but my homeboy, I'll go if I can say his name, Travis Harris, and
First and last.
but it was his brother. It
You
was
got a-
his,
You got a social too?
it was his older brother, and he was dating this girl in the neighborhood, and like because she's she grew up in a strictly Christian household, and she would only give him head and like jack him off, and he would always like complain, and like we were like so young, we barely understood, and then as we get older, like I see what he's talking
Yeah.
about. And it was kind of like a long relationship, and like he was getting so tired of it. Like that's it, that's all she would do. You know what I mean?
Mm.
It gets tough
Poor
for a while,
Travis's
but in the
brother.
beginning, it works for a little while.
Little while.
You know what I mean?
Little while. Variety's the spice of life, Bubba.